T-minus 1 minute and counting. The Soyuz now on internal power, and we have auto sequence start.
Vehicle to internal power.
So at T-minus 35 seconds, the first umbilical tower has separated from the booster. That second tower will go at about 15 seconds away from launch. We're at 24 and counting now. The ground umbilical to the third stage has been disconnected.
Auto sequence initiated.
Second umbilical tower now separating. Boosters igniting, the engines firing. Ramping up to flight speed. And liftoff. Liftoff of Tim Kopra, Yuri Malenchenko, and Timothy Peake on their way to the International Space Station. So far, getting good first stage performance. The Soyuz delivering 930,000 pounds of thrust from its 4 boosters and single core engine. The first stage of the Soyuz, 68 feet in length, 24 feet in diameter. It's going to be burning liquid fuel for the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the flight. We'll be getting regular launch performance calls from the engineers out there at the launch pad in Baikonur. 48 seconds and counting after launch. Everything continuing to go well with the first stage of the Soyuz rocket.
Yeah, we're receiving data. Chamber pressure nominal. 60 seconds. Pitch.
Now 1 minute and 10 seconds into the flight, the Soyuz rocket already traveling at a velocity of 1,100 miles per hour. On board Malenchenko, Kopra, and Peake, 1 minute and 22 seconds into their planned 8-minute 45 flight into orbit. Everything continuing to go well with the first stage, the 4 strap-on boosters and the core engine performing nominally or normally.
90 seconds, engines stable.
And just there we see the 4 strap-on boosters jettison the first stage, and the strap-on boosters completing their job, dropping away at an altitude of 28 statute miles. At this point, the Soyuz is traveling at about 3,350 miles per hour. You can see the 4 strap-on boosters all separated from the Soyuz successfully. That core stage continuing to fire. Second stage will continue until about 4 minutes, 43 seconds into the flight, at which point it will shut down shortly after the third stage ignites. And then shortly we should get confirmation that the launch shroud has been jettisoned.
We can see that the fairing has been jettisoned.
And confirm the launch shroud protecting the Soyuz during the initial ascent has been jettisoned. The rocket now at an altitude of over 48 miles in height.
R13. Copy, we can see that.
On board, everything continuing to go well. You can see British astronaut Tim Peake there over in the right seat. In the center, Soyuz Commander Yuri Malenchenko. Everything going well for the Soyuz craft as it continues its climb. The Soyuz already traveling at a speed of over 4,700 miles an hour. The thumbs up from Peake there and a quick wave. The Soyuz core stage continuing to perform as expected. The core stage of the Soyuz rocket is 56 feet in length, 13.5 in diameter, with a single engine and 4 fuel chambers providing between 178,000 and 222,000 pounds of thrust for its 3 minutes and 28 seconds of operation. So again, this stage is going to continue to burn until the 4-minute, 43-second mark. The Soyuz then uses what's called a hot stage technique. The third stage will ignite while the second's still burning. This is why, if you ever look at a Soyuz, it has the small open area between the second and third stages.
Copy, I got it.
So in just about 10 seconds, we'll be standing by for the third stage to ignite and the second stage to shut down.
Two 90 seconds. Third stage activation confirmed. Copy.
And second stage separation confirmed. Third stage now igniting. The core booster separating at an altitude of 105 statute miles. Soyuz craft now being propelled by the single engine of the Soyuz's third stage. The engine provides 67,000 pounds of thrust and will burn for 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
320 seconds. Flight nominal. Copy.
And this right here, actually a view from the International Space Station, getting an unprecedented view of the Soyuz as it makes its flight into orbit.
Copy.
Currently 6 minutes since liftoff. Kopra, Malenchenko, and Peake inside the Soyuz, currently traveling on top of the third stage, which again burns for a total of 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
.380 seconds. Stage 3 engine is stable. Copy.
The third stage will continue burning for about another 2 minutes or so until it cuts off and separates and then places the Soyuz craft into its preliminary orbit.
.410 seconds nominal. Copy, Agate. .440 seconds. Attitude stable. Copy.
So coming up on 7 minutes, 30 seconds post-launch, the vehicle's velocity now at almost 13,500 miles an hour. Once the third stage delivers the Soyuz into orbit, the module gets separated. A series of pre-programmed commands will execute in order to prepare the Soyuz for orbital operations. All these stored commands, called time-tagged commands, allow many of the Soyuz's systems to be automatically activated by onboard computers at very precise times stored inside of those computers. Again, over 8 minutes now since liftoff, about 45 seconds remaining on the third stage operations. Once that's finished, they'll be in their preliminary orbit, and the vehicle will command the deployment of antennas and the solar array, and will be in its initial altitude. Again, everything continuing to go well with all 3 stages of the rocket today.
All nominal. .510 seconds. Pitch, yaw, and roll nominal.
Now standing by for third stage cutoff and separation. And you can see the small jolt there for the crew members as the third stage cuts off and separates. The single liquid-fueled engine shut down and dropping away at an altitude of about 125 statute miles. The third stage performs an avoidance maneuver by opening a valve in its liquid oxygen tank to steer well clear of the Soyuz spacecraft.
Unintelligible.
And so, hearing confirmation of spacecraft SEP, the Soyuz capsule and the crew now safely in orbit, executed all of those pre-programmed commands. Hearing the deployment of antennas and solar arrays went as planned. Soyuz orbiting at an altitude of about 143 by 118 miles. This orbit's going to be raised systematically over the course of the next 6 hours, placing it in close proximity to the International Space Station.